my beloved son, my dear daughter. Yes, you. Stop everything you are doing right now and listen to my voice. This is not just another moment in your day. This is the moment when the heavens bend over your life to speak what you most need to hear. I know the pain throbs inside your chest, a sharp and cold stab that appeared when you discovered the truth that had been hidden from you, whispered behind your back, in conversations you were not supposed to hear, in messages you were not supposed to see. Reality surfaced like a knife, and it cut deeply into your trust. You feel betrayed, deceived by someone in whom you placed your faith, your love, your vulnerability. The question echoing in your mind is why, and the silence you received as an answer feels like an abyss. But today, in this exact instant, I came to fill that abyss with my truth. Open the ears of your spirit, because what I am going to reveal to you will forever change the way you see this trial. I heard every whisper. I saw every message exchanged. I witnessed every furtive glance and every half-truth spoken with a false smile. Last night, when the facade crumbled and the truth surfaced like a raging river, you felt as though you were drowning in disappointment. But what you did not realize was that I was within those turbulent waters, by your side, holding your head so you would not sink. The promise I made through the prophet Isaiah is my living word for you today. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. You are passing through, but you are not alone. You are not drowning. You are being guided. It was not by chance. It was not a twist of fate or bad luck. Every recent event, especially this painful revelation that struck your heart like a hurricane, was permitted by my sovereign hand, because I love you too much to leave you in illusion. I love you too much to watch you build a castle upon the quicksand of falsehood and deceit. That relationship, the way it was doomed to collapse, and I would not allow you to be buried under the rubble of a house built on lies. That is why I had to expose the wound. I had to bring to light what was rotting in the darkness. It was an act of mercy, not cruelty. It was celestial alignment entering your story to pull you out of the narrative of deception and place you on the path of my true and irrevocable promise. The betrayal you suffered at someone's hands is not the end of your story. It is the prologue to your deliverance. I am using the poison that was thrown against you as the antidote that will heal your soul. The truth that hurts so much is the scalpel of the great physician, removing the tumor of naivety and misplaced trust to make room for a scar of wisdom and discernment. I know that at this moment it is almost impossible to see anything good coming from this situation. The anger, the shame, the feeling of having been made a fool, all of that is valid. But I am not here to invalidate your pain. I am here to recontextualize it. I am here to reveal that what was planned for your harm, I, the Lord your God, have planned for your good, to accomplish my purpose and preserve your life. Since the foundation of the world, my eye has been upon you. My design for your life is eternal, and it is built upon foundations of truth, honesty, and integrity. The pain of this breakup, this shocking revelation, is the violent and necessary demolition of what was false, so that what is eternal and true can finally be raised. You have not lost anything of value. You have been freed from a weight that was keeping you from flying. The person you loved was not evil. They were lost, and their dishonesty was a shackle that bound you as well. I stepped into your story to break that shackle. So take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your lungs. This is the breath of someone who is about to be free. The process of restoration that was planned from eternity has begun. Your emotional healing, the restoration of your peace, the rebuilding of your trust, all of this is already in motion. From today on, you will no longer see this situation as a defeat, but as your turning point. You are not being punished, you are being spared. You are not being humiliated, you are being prepared. And know with all certainty that you are not alone. I am here, and my voice is the only one you need to hear. And now, in the silence that followed the storm, in the void left by the revelation, you feel a question echo in the depths of your being. Where was I? Why did I allow this pain to reach you? Why, in the moments when you most cried out for a sign, for relief, for anything that would prove I was listening, did you encounter what seemed to be a deafening silence? I need you to understand something that goes beyond your reason. What you interpreted as abandonment, as my cruel and distant absence, was, in fact, my sacred silence. It is not the silence of contempt or indifference. It is the silence of the artist concentrated while working on a fragile masterpiece. It is the silence of the father who holds his breath while watching his child learn to walk, knowing that falling is part of the process, but ready to intervene at the exact right moment before the fall becomes fatal. While in the natural dimension words were twisted, lies were woven, and betrayal was orchestrated, in the spiritual dimension, in the invisible reality that is more real than anything you can see, I was building. I was raising an invisible shield around you. Every tear of yours that fell on the pillow, every cry of anguish that you suffocated inside yourself, was not collected in vain. Each one of them was used as precious material to strengthen this fortress around you. They became the mortar that sealed the cracks through which more lies could have entered. They solidified the foundations of your faith, which now, even cracked, still stands. You felt fragile and broken, but I was making you unbreakable. The pain you felt was not the pain of destruction. It was the intense pain of stretching, of expanding your capacity to contain my glory. You were not spared from the wound because the wound was necessary. The surgeon is not cruel for making the cut. He is compassionate because he knows that cut is the only passage to healing. Falsehood needed to be exposed not to hurt you, but so the infection would be completely drained from your life. And in my silence, I was allowing all the poison to come out. I was holding back my hand, restraining my immediate intervention, because a superficial healing would have been an even greater betrayal. I want for you complete healing, total restoration, and that requires that all the filth be brought to the light, no matter how painful the process may be. Every moment of loneliness you felt, every instant in which you thought no one cared, I was there. I marked each one of them. I saw you struggling to keep the faith when everything around you screamed for you to give up. I witnessed your faithfulness in the midst of darkness when you chose not to curse my name, even without understanding my ways. That faithfulness in the dark is worth more than 1,000 praises in the light. It echoed through the corridors of heaven and drew my attention in a unique and powerful way. And all those tears, they were not lost on the earth. Each one was a precious seed. You planted them in the fertile soil of your own broken heart, and I, the Sun of Righteousness, am shining upon them now. What will sprout is not a field of new sorrow, but an abundant harvest of discernment. You will never be the same again. You will never again be naive. You will never again be easily deceived. The wisdom you carry now is not the theoretical wisdom of books. It is visceral wisdom forged in fire that knows the smell of lies and the taste of truth. This wisdom will be your greatest shield from now on. It will guide you in relationships, in business, in every decision of your life. You lost innocence, it is true, but you gained perception. You lost blind trust in people, but you gained unshakable trust in my ability to guard you and guide you. My silence was never empty. It was full of purpose. It was charged with divine activity. While you felt stuck in time, forgotten in a corner, I was behind the scenes of your life-moving pieces, preparing the stage, organizing your healing and your victory in a way that will make sense so clearly and so wonderfully that you will look back and not wish to have skipped a single step of this journey. The pain had an expiration date. The lie was exposed. Now it is time for the seed of your perseverance to sprout. It is time for the harvest of your faithfulness. Get ready, because you are about to reap wisdom where you planted tears. And now I come to speak to the center of your wound. I come to speak about the very truth that cut your heart. You felt it like a knife, a final betrayal, the last drop that made an ocean of pain overflow. But today I reveal to you my perspective on that same event. That truth, as cruel as it seemed at the moment of its revelation, was not a weapon meant to destroy you. It was the precise instrument I chose for your definitive deliverance. Imagine a body infected by a silent poison. The poison was there, working, spreading its disease, but the person did not know. They only felt a malaise, a weakness, a fatigue they could not understand. The only chance for healing was to bring the poison to the surface, to drain it completely, even if the draining process itself was painful. The lie was that poison. It infected your relationships, your peace, your vision of the future. It made you question your own sanity, your perception of reality. You felt that something was wrong, but you could not identify what. The revelation of the truth was the moment the scalpel touched your skin. There was pain, yes. There was a cut, yes. But it was the cut that released the pressure, that expelled the infection, and that indeed began the process of healing. Accept this moment not as a condemnation to perpetual suffering, but as the divine surgery that was absolutely necessary. The tumor of disillusionment needed to be removed. It was growing inside you, fed by empty promises and fabricated realities. If it had remained there, it would have consumed your ability to trust, to love, to give yourself again. I could not allow that. I could not build a new and solid future on the rotten foundation of an illusion. That is why the truth had to be revealed. It hurt to heal. It cut to save. What was hidden from you, that piece of information that seemed to be your ruin, will be the cornerstone of your new fortress. Now you know, now you see, now you are no longer fighting against shadows, but against a clear reality, and a clear reality can be faced, can be overcome, can be transformed. The healing I bring to you is not superficial. It is not a simple band-aid over a deep wound. It is a complete healing that works in 3 dimensions of your being. For your emotion, I bring the balm of my comfort, the assurance that you are not alone in your pain, and the promise that all this anguish will be transformed into a deeper compassion for others. For your mind, I bring the washing of truth. All the questions, all the what-ifs, all the moments that did not make sense now fit together into a puzzle that reveals my hand protecting you. The confusion gives way to a supernatural clarity. And for your spirit, I bring the restoration of faith, not a naive faith, but a resilient faith, forged in the fire of adversity that is no longer shaken by storms because it knows its anchor is set in the invisible and eternal kingdom. The person who hid the truth from you intended to control, manipulate, or perhaps simply avoid a confrontation. But human intentions, whether good or bad, are always redirected to fulfill my final purpose. And my purpose for you has always been, and will always be, freedom. The freedom to be who you are without needing to fit into anyone's lie. The freedom to walk in the light without having to carry the heavy burden of others' secrets. The freedom to trust again, not because people are perfect, but because you now possess the discernment of those who have been healed and who know the value of truth. Therefore, do not curse the truth that hurt. Be thankful for it. It was the turning point between the person you were and the person you are becoming. It was the painful yet necessary instrument of your complete deliverance. And now, free, you are ready to receive the inheritance of peace that I have kept for you. And now I come to establish the eternal foundation on which you must rebuild your life. While you felt the ground tremble beneath your feet with human failure, with the betrayal that came from where you least expected, there was another foundation, invisible, that never moved, never wavered, never failed. My faithfulness. I need you to understand this with a clarity that becomes the new lens through which you see your entire story. Someone's disloyalty does not nullify my loyalty. A person's unfaithfulness does not contaminate my faithfulness. The promise broken by human hands does not invalidate any of my promises, which are yes and amen. I was there. In every moment of exclusion, when you felt left out of an inside joke, of a shared secret, I was there. In every instant of doubt, when a chill down your spine whispered that something was not right, but you had no proof, only that unease in your spirit, I was recording. Every detail, every misplaced word, every half-truth, every calculated omission, nothing escaped my eyes. Everything was meticulously inscribed in my eternal scroll. This is not a book of condemnation for those who hurt you. It is a book of vindication for you. It is the heavenly proof that your pain was seen, your integrity was noticed, and your faith, though shaken, did not break. It was not luck. It was not a casual coincidence that the truth came to light at the exact moment it did. It was my justice stepping onto the stage of your life as the main protagonist. It is justice that does not seek to punish out of revenge, but acts to restore order. Order was disrupted by the lie, and my justice is the process of bringing the truth so that healing can finally begin. I stepped in to vindicate you, to prove that you were not crazy, to prove that your intuition was right, to prove that your pain was valid and had a real and tangible cause. I am here to wash away the shame that was never yours to carry, to return to you the dignity that was stolen by another's dishonesty. Therefore, listen to me now with all the attention of your being. Betrayal does not define your worth. What happened to you is not a mirror that reflects who you are. It is a window that shows the weakness of the one who failed. Your worth, your identity, your deepest essence, all of that was determined by me before the foundation of the world, and I do not change my mind. My constant presence by your side, even in the darkest valley, is the only real measure of your immense value. You are so valuable that I, God Himself, never left you. I never turned my gaze away. I never closed my ears. You were and always will be the apple of my eye. And because of this undeniable truth, I declare over you today, you owe nothing to those who hurt you. You do not owe them anger. You do not owe them bitterness. You do not owe them explanations, and much less your peace. The emotional debt you feel you have, the need to make them understand your pain, is cancelled at this moment. The account was paid by my grace. The only debt you now carry is a debt to yourself. You owe yourself the precious gift of the peace I offer you. You owe yourself the freedom to let go of the case to place the pursuit of justice in my hands and to move forward lighter, wiser, freer. Your story does not end with the stain of betrayal. It now begins to be written with the indelible ink of my faithfulness, a faithfulness that is not shaken by the wind, not corrupted by time, and not influenced by human error. I am your shield. I am your exceedingly great reward, and my character is the inheritance you receive when everything else seems to have failed. Rest in that. Rest in me. And now the moment has come for the most important invitation I will make to you. The moment to stop looking at the rubble of what was demolished and start envisioning the new structure we will raise together. The pain of demolition has already passed. The mourning for what collapsed has already fulfilled its purpose. Now it is time to build. And it will not be a rushed reconstruction, a patch over the torn fabric of your life. No, it will be something entirely new, raised from a new blueprint with new materials and on a foundation you have never known before. The old structure, the one that housed relationships based on deception and shadows, had to be demolished by my hand, not out of cruelty, but out of mercy. I would not allow you to continue living in a place with leaks of lies, with a roof of false promises and walls of appearances, because a stronger storm would come and the disaster would be total. That house was destined to fall. I tore it down to protect you. And on the ground now, cleared, open, and prepared, I invite you to build with me. This ground is your heart. A broken heart, yes, but now fertilized by truth, plowed by disappointment, and ready to receive the seeds of the new. You must not, under any circumstances, take the old stones of distrust and the debris of bitterness to try to build again. Do not use the cement of self-pity to set the bricks. These weak materials will only reproduce the same unstable structure that collapsed before. The material we will use is wisdom, the wisdom painfully acquired in this trial. Every tear of discovery, every moment of anguished clarity, every instant when you chose not to let anger define you, all of this will become the divine cement that will bind each new brick of your life. This cement is unbreakable. It hardens over time and becomes stronger than steel. And what will be the blueprint for this new construction? It will be a life where honesty is not an exception but the rule, where clarity is not a rare event but the natural atmosphere of your relationships. You will no longer build on the shifting sands of hoping people will change, but on the rock of my word and the character I am forming in you. The new connections that come into your life will not be drawn by your ability to perform or please, but by the authenticity you will emit, like a gentle yet strong fragrance. They will recognize in you someone who knows the value of truth because you paid a high price for it. These will be blessed alliances because they will be sealed by integrity and not by convenience. Do not fear the emptiness you feel now. It is not emptiness, it is potential. It is the necessary space for the new. It is the sacred silence before the symphony. I will not leave you alone on this construction site. I am the master architect. I will provide the plans through my word. I will be the strength in your arms when you grow weary of laying the bricks of patience and forgiveness. I will be your refuge when the rains of painful memories try to delay the work. Each day is a new step. Choosing to forgive is laying a brick. Choosing to establish a healthy boundary is installing a window that lets in light and keeps out the storm. Choosing to trust again with wisdom and discernment is raising a strong and beautiful wall. The house we are building will not be only for you. It will become a shelter for other broken hearts who will need to see in you the living proof that it is possible to go through demolition and not only survive, but emerge stronger, more beautiful, and more solid than ever. This new structure will be your story of restoration. It will not deny the storm, but it will testify that you had a foundation the storm could not destroy. So take up the tools of faith and hope. The sun of my righteousness is shining on this new day, on this new beginning.
Let us build. And now comes the moment of the most crucial decision. The moment when you must stop merely listening to my voice and begin to echo it with your own. The moment when your mouth must declare what your spirit already knows to be true. Therefore, rise where you are, straighten your shoulders, lift your head, and declare with faith, not as a timid whisper, but as a decree that echoes through the halls of heaven and resounds in the atmosphere of the earth.
Say now, with the strength I give you, I have been marked by heaven for the truth, and I no longer live under the yoke of lies. Repeat these words. Let them come out of your mouth and pierce the spiritual realm. This is not a positive affirmation. It is not a motivational thought. It is a spiritual decree. It is your signature ratifying my judgment over your life. It is you agreeing with my verdict of deliverance. By declaring this, you are breaking once and for all the cycles of manipulation that tried to rule your life. You are breaking the invisible chains that kept you bound to destructive relationship patterns. Each word of yours is a hammer that shatters the links of these chains. You are not asking to be set free. You are proclaiming that you are already free because I have already set you free. From this moment on, you will no longer carry the heavy, filthy burden of relationships that must be hidden, that thrive in the shadows and that diminish you so another may feel great. You are detaching yourself energetically, emotionally, and spiritually from every and any connection that does not honor the light of truth that now shines within you. From today on, you walk differently. Your posture will no longer be that of a wounded survivor, but of a royal heir. You walk as one who knows in the deepest part of your being your undeniable worth. And how do you know? Because it was I, the Lord your God, the supreme judge of all the earth, who assessed you. I examined your heart in the darkest moment. I witnessed your faith when there was no reason to believe. I saw your integrity when no one was watching. And my verdict, my final assessment, is this: you are worthy. Worthy of my unconditional love. Worthy of my fierce protection. Worthy of my glorious inheritance. The price for your worthiness has already been paid on the cross, and no human opinion, no rejection, and no betrayal can revoke what I have already declared over you. Therefore, when you declare, I have been marked by heaven, you are acknowledging that you carry within you an invisible yet real seal. The seal of my spirit. It is the mark of ownership that shows you belong to me. And everything that is mine is under my guard. No lie, no deception, no schemer of calamity can touch what I have marked for myself. This mark is your greatest treasure and your most impenetrable shield. It does not exempt you from battles, but it guarantees your victory in each one of them. Now take a deep breath. Feel the pure air of freedom filling your lungs. It is the air of the kingdom. It is the breath of the new life that begins now. The lie tried to steal your identity, but today you recover it with authority. You are not what others said you were. You are not what betrayal tried to make of you. You are what I say you are. And I say, you are mine, loved, redeemed, delivered, marked. And now walk in this truth, speak in this truth, breathe in this truth. The yoke of lies has been broken. The era of truth has begun for you. And now fix your eyes on the eternal horizon. I do not only restore, I exalt. I do not only heal, I glorify. Your story does not end, nor does it even find its climax at the moment of humiliation. Just as Joseph, betrayed by those who should have protected him, was taken from the dark pit to the brightest palace in the world, not for his own exaltation, but for the salvation of a nation, so it is with you. The betrayal you suffered was not the epilogue of your life, it was the prologue of your exaltation. The restoration I bring is not a private event, a secret comfort for your heart. It will be public, evident, and undeniable. It will be a display of my glory on earth. The same situations that were used to mock you, to diminish you, and to try to cover your light will become the chosen stages for my manifestation. The place of your shame will become the altar of your honor. The people who witnessed your fall will be the same who will witness your rise, not by chance, but so that they may know without any shadow of doubt that it was my hand that lifted you up. The same mouth that spoke lies against you will be forced to confess the blessing that overflows from your life. This is not about revenge, it is about vindication. It is about truth being established as the cornerstone of your testimony. Understand the purpose behind this anointing of public restoration. It is not to inflate your ego or to give you a selfish status. It is not so that you may sit on a throne of arrogance. It is for a legacy. It is for eternity. Everything you endured, every tear of humiliation that the enemy tried to use to destroy you, will be turned into seeds of righteousness that will sprout into a leafy tree of impact. Your family will be impacted by the harvest of your faithfulness. Your community will be transformed by the manifestation of my grace in your life. Future generations will reap the fruits of your perseverance. Your name will not be remembered for the pain you suffered, but for the glory that was revealed through it. I am writing with your life a living epistle, an open letter that will be read by all those who pass through similar valleys. They will look at you and see the tangible proof that faithfulness in times of trial is not in vain. That standing firm when everything collapses is not a foolish act, but a spiritual investment with guaranteed return. Your reward will not only be the joy of personal restoration, but the privilege of being a landmark, a sign, a beacon of hope for countless others who are still in the pit, thinking their end has come. Therefore, lift up your head. The period of concealment is over. The season of display has begun. Every step you took in the darkness, guided only by the spark of your faith in me, was meticulously recorded and will be publicly rewarded. The honor that comes is not heavy, it is light. It is not embarrassing, it is liberating, because it does not erase the memory of the pain, but transforms it into the background that makes my glory shine with an even greater intensity. Prepare yourself to see the fruits of what you planted in tears. Prepare yourself to reap with explosive joy. Prepare yourself to be the answer to the prayers you yourself made in the desert. Your story of Joseph is unfolding, and the world will witness your invitation to enter the palace. And so we reach the threshold, the point where faith meets the future, the place where you must make the final choice, to believe in what I say or believe in what you feel. Therefore I come to you not with a request, but with a sacred calling, a call to radical trust. Trust. This is the deepest and most powerful word you can sow in the garden of your heart today. Trust not in circumstances, not in people, not in visible results. Trust in me. Trust in the character of the one who has never broken a promise. Trust in the love of the one who gave his only son for you. Trust in the faithfulness of the one who has recorded every one of your tears. This is not a blind leap in the dark. It is a firm step in the light of my word, which is a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. Do not look back with the poison of anger.
Anger is a weight that paralyzes, an anchor that holds you in the harbor of pain. I did not set you free so that you would dwell on the past. I set you free so that you would sail in new waters. Look ahead, lift up your eyes. There is a horizon of hope before you, so vast and so glorious that it will make all the pain you went through seem small in comparison. Look with expectation, with the joyful anticipation of a child on the eve of their birthday.
What comes next in your life is no longer disappointment. The season of letdowns is over. What comes next is fulfillment, materialization, the tangible manifestation of every promise I have kept for you in my heart since before your first breath. This is your moment of divine convergence, the moment when all things, the good, the bad, the painful, the joyful, work together, unite, intertwine in a perfect fabric for your supreme good. Betrayal, pain, silence, revelation, healing, all of this now merges to create an anointing of resilience and glory upon you that is irresistible. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was in vain. Everything was used by my skillful hands to carve in you the image of my Son, Jesus. Therefore now stop. Stop everything and receive. Receive my peace. Not the peace of the world which depends on everything being well, but my peace. The peace that surpasses all understanding. The peace that is a quiet river flowing in the midst of chaos. It is a gift. Extending my hands to you now, embrace it. Let it wrap around your heart, your mind, your memories. It is the ultimate antidote to the poison of anxiety. And embrace the truth that sets free, the truth that you are loved, that you were chosen, that you were forgiven, that you were restored, that your worth is in me. This truth is not a concept, it is a person, and I am that truth. Hold on to me. And then move forward. Move forward with a light heart. Move forward with shining eyes. Move forward with the unshakable certainty that the best, the truly best, is yet to come. Not the best you can imagine with your limited mind, but the best I have prepared for you, which eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and has never entered the heart of man. Move forward because I have already entered your story. I am not a spectator, I am the author, and I do not write sad endings.
I write glorious endings. The chapter of pain has closed. The chapter of glory is just beginning. Now, walk. Your future awaits me.